So maybe I'm back on. My camera's working now. Hello, everybody. Hello, replay viewers. This is a continuation of a previous broadcast that I was doing just a few minutes ago. And somehow my camera went out, so I apologize for that. For those of you who were there, I hope you can join me back. And for those that are new, I'm at Klein Observatory on the Jamestown campus of GTCC, and looking at the telescope, looking at the observatory here, Klein Observatory. So welcome, good to have you here. Welcome, and sorry for the interruption, okay? But we're at the observatory right now. I'm gonna turn the camera around so you can see what we're doing. I'm at the main floor of the observatory right now. This is where my camera went out. And you can see the slit. Here's the window in the dome, and it's closed right now. Here's our telescope, which is under plastic. I'm not going to take the plastic off because it keeps the dust off of it. I'm not going to use the telescope right now. And this is our observatory here. Here's our dome. I'm going to look straight up. There's our straight up. Here is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the observatory. So let's see if this works this time, okay? It was right about here that things crashed. So let's see if this works. I'm going to open up the dome. I'm going to open it up, so watch. Here we go. There it is. There's the dome opening up. Look at that. There's the dome opening up. And when the dome is open, of course, we point the telescope out the dome. Oh, the sun is so bright there. Let's get behind something. Here we are. And the telescope in front of us, and the dome looking out at the sky, cloudy sky, partly cloudy sky. And that is awesome. That's my favorite thing to do here, is to open up the dome. That's my favorite thing. So what I'm going to do is my second favorite thing now. My second favorite thing is closing the dome. So here we go. We're going to close the dome. Close the dome. This is my second favorite thing to do here, is closing the dome. So I wanted to share that with you guys. There, that's the dome, and I'm not gonna have it open because the air conditioner's on and it gets awfully hot in here when the dome is open. But you can see the dome. In 1997, GTCC decided to build an observatory here, and I was fortunate enough to be a student here. No, the moon is sometimes available in the daytime. I think it was this morning. It's not right now. But I was a student here, and the teacher asked if anybody would like to help build the observatory. And so I volunteered to help build, and I helped build this thing. We put the dome together. You can even see my dents. My dents are right there. My dents right there in that corner. I put those dents in. Those are my dents. This is the dome at the observatory, and walking over here, you can see the business part. This is where we run the telescope from the computer. We run the telescope from the computer over here, and the public gets in a line around the telescope. They come up the stairs. Which are here on the right behind the plastic there, and they swoop around and they come on this side, and then they line up and they take a look through the telescope. I did not do it intentionally. I did not. I was following somebody's directions. Oh, we can see several million light years. We can see several million light years away with this telescope, which is pretty nice. This is where I volunteer. Yeah, I'm not a carpenter. We were building the dome, and as you can see, these different pieces, these different slits, these different slats were all separate. And we had to bolt all those together on the ground. The dome was sitting on the ground, or the pieces, we were putting it together on the ground. And as we bolted them together, the top started to sag. So the teacher said, "Dennis, go get that long 2x4 and get underneath the dome and push up." And that's what I did. I went underneath the dome with the 2x4 and I pushed up. And I quickly realized that I shouldn't push up anymore. So I stopped pushing up. And I looked, and there were my dents there. So I didn't do it on purpose. I did it under the direction of the teacher, but I'm proud of them anyway. So we built this in 1997. We built it in 1997, and I've been volunteering here ever since. I serve right now as the chair of the advisory committee for the observatory. I've been doing that since 1997, basically. And It's a really nice place to volunteer with a 2x4. That's right. Well, it was no, it was put together. It was assembled on site at the construction site first to show the teacher how it was done, and then they brought it here in pieces on a flatbed, and that they unloaded it off the flatbed, and we had to put it together. So that's what happened. Um, yeah. So it was a fun thing to do. This is our third telescope now. This is our third telescope, and I hear a horn honking. I wonder if somebody's here. If somebody shows up, I'm going to stop broadcasting abruptly, okay? Because I don't want to interfere with any businesses going on here. This is just extra. I came here today to count the number of people that have been here. So this is my count so far. Let me show you my count, okay? I looked over the last couple months. And you can see that on the public nights we had certain numbers of guests, and there's a 72 on that night. That's a pretty good night. Let's see, 72, is that the biggest one? 72, that looks like the biggest one. Here's a 70, okay? So we had lots of guests here on the 20th of September, 70. On June the 14th, we had 72. That was pretty good. So I'm just here, part of my job as the chair of the committee is to keep track of the attendance at the observatory and report how we're doing on that. So that's what I do. I could see it, yes. I could see it if it's directly overhead. This telescope will point directly overhead. Let me show you. I'm standing right at the base of the telescope right now. I'm looking straight overhead. They're straight overhead. Now, if I look backwards, then that, okay? But straight overhead, we could see it. We sure could. That way south. I wonder how you can tell. How could you tell this way is south? Now, earlier, if you were here for the first half of this broadcast, before my camera died, you might have seen the big cement block that's underneath, that's in the basement. This is where it is. It's down here. So you can see the telescope does not touch the floor at all. The telescope does not touch the floor. The floor stops right there at the edge of the telescope. So the telescope is not resting on the floor. So walking on the floor doesn't vibrate the telescope at all. It's on that big cement block that goes deep into the ground. And so we can keep a steady view of what we're looking at. The top secret, hey, if I told you, then it wouldn't be top secret, okay? I can't tell you any of that. Tell us. I can't tell you. Sorry. So here's our telescope looking at the business end. It's covered, it's got the cap, the dust cap on it. You can see the name of the telescope is Plane Wave Instruments. This is the company that sold it to us. And here's our end, the eyepiece end right here. Here's the eyepiece end right here. Oh, let's do that better. Okay, put a better hand. So you can see there's the eyepiece there. And there's a bunch of the equipment that's attached to the back end of the telescope. So, and looking down through the plastic. I sure do. I have a couple telescopes at home. I have a 6-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain Celestron. That's my personal one. I've got a Newtonian telescope. I've got a Coronado telescope for the sun. I think those are the three that I have. I think I have those three. Okay, the Coronado for the sun, the Cassegrain, the Celestron for my personal use. Yeah. No, but Santa has actually pulled up into my driveway, believe it or not, and I'm telling you the absolute truth. Santa in his red sleigh pulled up to my driveway a couple years ago, about a week before Christmas one year. He called me that morning, and he said that he had a special Christmas gift for me, and so he came by in his red sleigh, and he had a special Christmas gift for me. He delivered early, so I thought that was really nice, but I've never seen Santa in the sky. It was a convertible, as a matter of fact. It was convertible. So it was real nice. He's one of our local Santa Clauses, and I'm going to just call him Santa here, okay? But if Jack Grimes is out there, you know who you are. But I'll call him Santa here. No, I do not have a Dobsonian. The school has a couple Dobsonians. GTCC does, and High Point University does, but I do not have a Dobsonian. So this is the observatory. I just wanted to share it with you. I apologize for the interruption and my camera going out. I do not know what happened. I have plenty of battery, so I can't explain that. But this is our observatory here at GTCC. So sometime go to your local observatory, contact your local college and see if there's an observatory nearby. November 11, everybody mark down November 11, especially if you're in North America. November 11 is the transit of Mercury. Mercury will be moving across the face of the sun on November 11th. It's going to start, if you're on the East Coast, like I am, it'll start around 7:30 in the morning, and it'll go until about 2:30 in the afternoon on November 11th. It's the transit of Mercury. So it's really cool to watch. It's not real rare. It happens like every 8 years or so, but it's a nice thing to see. Everything off and turn it back on, and here we are. So I'm going to go. I have to go home and grade some papers and get some things ready for school tomorrow. Tomorrow we're looking at some planets. We're measuring the angular diameter of some planets of the solar system, and we're also figuring out how to decide how to locate the planets in our solar system by seeing their position in the sky. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. Okay. So thank you all for being here. This is going to be a short scope. It's just our observatory here. And I'm hoping that on Friday, I will be able to do a very special scope about Pluto. We have a guest speaker coming here to GTCC who has done research on Pluto. She hasn't actually been on Pluto, but she's researched Pluto, and she's been one of the people involved in the teams of scientists who've been studying the pictures of Pluto, the data from Pluto. So try to join me on Friday. I'll let you know what we can do. And I'm going to go now because I need to go home and have lunch. I haven't had lunch yet, and it's 2 o'clock, so I have to have lunch. So thank you all very much. Let me end with a picture of the telescope, and then I'll go away, okay? So here's the picture. Here's our telescope. From this point, here's the slit, the dome, our dents up there in the corner. And I want to thank you all very much for being here. Thank you.